Good evening and welcome to Prime Business. I am Emma Davis. Tonight, more oil marketing firms are increasing prices of petroleum products at the pumps. The latest is two of the industry's giants, Goil and Shell. The two are selling a liter of petrol at 14 cedis 80 pesos. Diesel is also going for 14 cedis 92 pesos. Reacting to this development, Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amwa, rather lauded the OMCs for absorbing the cost of commodity, which he says would have gone higher than what is being witnessed at the pumps.
I would say that the oil marketing companies collectively have been very, very good to Ghanaians. If you look at the numbers we are seeing so far from the market, there's every indication that some amount of increases have been shelved already. And so the full extent of increases possible, looking at where the city stands now, looking at where international market prices also stand, we clearly didn't get the full extent of the increase. So for us, this is very good, and we commend highly the various oil marketing companies for not passing everything to the market. Fuel could have crossed 15 Ghana to this, without a blink. But as we speak, diesel that was expected to have actually gone to about some 15.4 is still trading around 14.9 for thereabout. That for us is within projections, is within the numbers, and we think that the OMCs have been quite okay for this particular window.
And Country Director at the International Growth Center, Dr. NIC has expressed worry over the several tax exemptions given to multinationals operating in the country. According to Dr. Sowa, the exemptions, specifically in the mining and construction sectors, have led to enormous losses in revenue to the nation. He made these known at the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research's Quarterly Economic Roundtable in Accra. Here's more.
Inaugural Quarterly Economic Roundtable centered on the theme Restoring Macroeconomic Stability. In her keynote address, the Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Abena Osei Asare, stressed the government's commitment to curtail unbudgeted expenditures, especially in the election year.
Also committed to transparency in public finance management, fully implementing the PFM Act and enhancing accountability mechanisms to ensure the efficient and effective use of public funds. There's always a high demand land in election years for government to overspend. And we are committed to rationalizing and containing expenditures, especially in the third and fourth quarters, to ensure that unbudgeted related expenditures are kept to the barest minimum or eliminated.
Economist and Country Director at the International Growth Center, Dr. NIC expressed concerns regarding the nation's exemptions policy.
Take a good look at the exemptions that we have in the system. There are too many. Somebody wants to establish a company in your country. He's done his own homework, he's done his feasibility studies and everything. And then he comes in, and then you give him tax holiday, about 10 years tax holiday. You also give them the chance to be able to keep their receipts over there. There's 100% retention for some of them. What do you gain then by allowing him to establish a company here?
Professor William Babwaten, head of Department of Economics at the University of Ghana, urged the government to maintain prudent fiscal practices.
For prudent expenditure management, not necessarily, and I emphasize, not necessarily expenditure cut, because I dare say that, otherwise my salary will be cut. But starting from reducing the weight of government. And in Ghana, politics is too heavy on the economy. So government has made it its duty that I can do everything. And the moment you create that impression, citizens will also think that you can do everything, and we fold our arms.
The Quarterly Economic Roundtable was jointly organized by the Ministry of Finance and the University of Ghana.
The Ghana Statistical Service is cautioning government to intervene in the exponential population growth in the Greater Accra region, covering smaller land spaces. According to the service, the country's population growth will increase by 6.41 million by 2030. Speaking to Joy Business after launching the population projections for 2021 to 2050, Deputy Government Statistician Dr. Faustina Frimpong disclosed that there will be more development works required to cater for the growth. Here's more.
The aim of the population projection is to offer insight into the future demographic landscape, whilst informing policymakers, researchers, and the public about potential changes. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, this is also critical for tracking the implementation of national, continental, and global development goals. One key takeaway from the result is the population pressure on the Greater Accra region, which is expected to deepen by 2030, a phenomenon that is likely to affect the land size of the region. Deputy Government Statistician Dr. Faustina Frimpong cautioned that policymakers must intervene to realign the development of structures in the region.
The one that I think government should really consider is the pressure on the land in Accra, because the population density in Accra is way beyond what we're thinking. I mean, in certain documents, they projected that by 2050, in Ghana itself should be 157 person per square kilometer, but we'll reach this number in 2030. The whole country, by 2030, there will be, in totality, 156.7 people per square kilometer. And when you break it down to various areas, because Accra land size is the smallest, more people there put much pressure in there. And so the kind of structures we put up, some of these things must be considered in their decision making to help ensure that we contain all these people within the country.
Ghana's projected total population in 2024 is over 33 million, which is 1.07 times that of 2021 figure of 30.8 million. How will this affect the country's productivity? The Deputy Government Statistician explains.
The proportion of children 0 to 14 years, the number is reducing. It decreased from 44.6% in 1960 to 35% in 2021, and further to decrease to 29% by 2050. However, you see those aged 60 years and older, it increased from 6.5 in 2021 and is projected to go to about 10.8% in 2050. Now, I say this because the care for the elderly is different from the care for children. And therefore, if you have almost 11% of your population being the 60 years and older, health service delivery, vehicular, places for the elderly, have we made provision for that? And so these are things that the government should look at the various components, because the needs across these age groups are not the same. And therefore, each needs or each broad age group has specific needs. So they should look at it and then tackle it in that direction.
Greater Accra also has the highest population of school-going age and expected to increase further by 2030.
The National Insurance Commission says it is working to improve the competitiveness of the insurance sector through the development of new framework to identify and address emerging risks. According to the Acting Commissioner Michael Kofi Andor, issues such as cyber risk and climate change are affecting the industry, hence the need to find solutions and ensure sustainability within the sector. He was speaking at the Enterprise Insurance Centenary Ball.
119 associates and 14 fellows were inducted. The acting commissioner at the ceremony said the commission will continue to ensure effective administration, supervision, regulation, and control the business of insurance in Ghana.
Our profession certainly needs to worry about customer centricity. To reach the unreached, the underserved and the excluded, we need products that are appropriate, suitable and affordable to the customers. We must also communicate clearly, comprehensively to our customers. We must respond to the customers' needs and concerns and complaints promptly. The biggest challenge with our customer service is claims. To quote the IACG chairman, Mr. Osunte, the claims manager is not a goalkeeper. In fact, claims could be the single most important opportunity to delight the customer.
President for the Chartered Insurance Institute of Ghana, Solomon Lati, urged insurance players to be professional.
Everyone who goes through this induction process goes through a mandatory ethics training program, which means that you have to impact the professional standards of professionalism, integrity, and excellence in everything you do. We know that people complain about insurance when there are claims, people don't pay and all that. But sometimes it's also because you are not buying your insurance from the right people. So whenever you are buying, just check whether the person selling to you belongs to the Chartered Insurance Institute or not.
The event was under the theme, Excellence in a Customer-Centric Profession.
The managing director of Omni Basic Bank, Daniel Esiedu, has stated that more people have shown interest in the bank's quarterly health walk program. The exercise is designed to encourage healthy living through regular workout. Mr. Esiedu spoke to the media after Omni Basic conducted the exercise at the forecourt of the State House in Accra.
Hundreds of customers and stakeholders joined the staff of Omni Basic Bank for a 12-kilometer walk through some principal street of Accra last Saturday. The event brought together a diverse group of participants, surpassing previous participation levels, including staff, customers, vendors, and esteemed guests such as the bank's board of directors and the managing director. The walk, the second for 2024, covered an impressive 12-kilometer route starting at the forecourt of the State House and weaving through Accra's Central Business District. In an interview after the walk, the managing director, Mr. Daniel Esiedu, expresses delight with the turnout and enthusiasm of the participants and exhibitors.
Well, like you see, the turnout has been massive, perhaps the biggest turnout, the largest turnout we've ever experienced. Participation has been good, organization has been wonderful, and definitely it means that we keep improving on what we do. Technically, without a doubt, this is the best health walk being organized in this country, and we are proud of this.
The health walk, beyond promoting physical well-being and fostering a collaborative environment, served as a platform for about 80 vendors and companies to exhibit their products and services. He encouraged all corporate bodies in the country to incorporate regular health exercises and events into their annual plans.
Definitely. I mean, you agree with me that in this day and age, people are having all kinds of issues in terms of their health. And if we create awareness amongst people, customers, partners, stakeholders, we believe it to go a long way to improve the health of the people around us. And so, as an institution, we are committed to this. And I want to call on other institutions. I mean, if we do this every quarter, and other institutions are also doing this every quarter, you discover that in the quarter at least, you have people doing maybe 5, 6, 7, or 8 times. And that becomes a regular affair in their life, and it will go a long way to help them.
Let's talk agriculture, as farmers have been urged to avoid the usage of agro inputs from unaccredited input dealers and rather adhere to expert advice to ensure higher productivity. At a Bono Abenve Agri-Inputs Fair in Wenchi, farmers were also exposed to the fact that a good input badly stored could pose danger to their use. Precious Semevo has more.
The 2-day Bono Abinbev Agri-Input Fair at Wenchi connected farmers from Wenchi, Tyne and Banda to agri-input dealers to know certified agri-inputs for farming to improve yields and livelihoods. The fair is a collaborative effort between the Regional Agriculture Department and the World Food Programme under the Abinbev project, which seeks to enhance the productivity of smallholder farmers and supply quality maize to industry, among others. Some farmers expressed worry about the high input cost in their farming activities.
Because inputs no ankasa ne bo e wosoro ye do wie so anema na ye benya se fertilizer input na ye de be so asemo eden pa nti aban me so yasene ne ntimi
Due to these challenges, some farmers resort to using cheap and unaccredited inputs from input dealers, which according to the Bono Regional Director of Agriculture, Dennis Abugri Amenga, could be dangerous to their produce and consumers if not avoided.
In recent past, there has been a worry by farmers in the quality of agro inputs available in the market. At times, some of them will use fertilizer that will not provide the expected nutrients to plants, and at the end of the day, they become frustrated. And so the essence of this particular fair is to let them know the type of inputs in the market so that they can make good choices and will not suffer the challenges of poor inputs that leads to low productivity. They shouldn't just buy agro inputs anywhere. There are designated areas, there are accredited areas that are regulated by the regulatory bodies. And at times, even how they store the inputs, you need to be very particular about that.
Senior research scientist at the Crop Research Institute, Dr. Kofi Frimpong Enin, admonished farmers to invest more in beneficial inputs.
We say the farming inputs are just like medication. So if you misapply the chemical, it has consequences on yourself, the environment, and also the food that you are producing, like chemical residues. So it is good you always follow the advice. We produce the foundation seed for the certified producers to also upscale it or produce it in large quantities. What we are trying to do is to let the farmers know that now agric is a business. Just like any ordinary person who run a business, that's how farming should be run. So you should invest in seed so that you can also make profit out of the agribusiness.
Precious Semevo Joy Business, Wenchi.
The Tema West Municipal Assembly has issued a strict directive to all businesses within the municipality to settle their mandatory business operating permits and property rates or face penalties. Municipal Chief Executive Edem Atipo emphasized that this measure is crucial for raising the necessary revenue to support the development of the area.
The Assembly has kicked off a week-long enforcement exercise aimed at recovering unpaid fees. As a result, 4 businesses have been shut down due to non-compliance. The Assembly plans to continue this operation until all businesses in the area fulfill their financial obligations.
Everybody is supposed to pay your business operating permit, your property rate, your building permit. So if you are not able to pay all these things or you refuse to pay, we will close down your shop and we'll send you to court and we charge you as well. So I'm encouraging everybody. People want us to build their roads for them. I'm getting street lights and all this I'm using is the same money that I have to use to do it.
The Municipal Chief Executive for Tema West, Edem Atipo, stated that the Assembly is open to making special arrangements for businesses that have legitimate reasons for defaulting on their payments. She also highlighted the Assembly's ongoing effort to educate businesses to improve compliance.
Yeah, so for those who are defaulted, we are taking them to court. Thankfully, a lot of them have come to pay their penalties. But if you default, well, we have no choice than to take you to court. The law will take its course, but I don't think it will get there. People are willing to pay now. I just realized that the education was not going down well with the people in the municipal. So as we are going around, I keep educating them and making sure that they pay. Of course, some were being very, very difficult, but we were able to manage them.
To date, the Assembly has collected over 100,000 Ghana cedis since the start of the exercise.
Some aviation sector players are calling on government to further consider expanding investments. According to Managing Director for Aviance Ghana, Mark Kamis, more airlines are interested in operating in Ghana, hence the need for more investments in infrastructure. He spoke to Joy Business at the launch of Aviance Ghana's new lounge at the Kotoka International Airport.
I think in terms of growth, I don't think you'll see too much growth coming from Accra. I think it's pretty saturated. But what you will see is airlines that have been well established here, like British Airways, increasing flights from 7 to 11 flights. You'll see Kenya Airways increasing the market from like a 737 to a 7A. And you'll see the likes of Ethiopian also increasing and making Accra into a hub. So there's some really exciting times for Accra ahead. I think, look, we always see the government as more of a partnership on how we can develop. And we're very excited always to work with the ministers in terms of aviation and hospitality. We've always had so much support, which we're very grateful for. We are a Ghanaian company. We've just hired over 1,000 extra employees, 200 employees extra in November 2023. So certainly Aviance is doing its bit to stimulate the market. Yeah, I think, look, we're always looking for the government support, and I think where that could be is we could look at facilities better, infrastructure. I think the Accra airport today is probably nearly at capacity, could do a bit more. So I think from a government perspective, what we would be looking at for is investment in infrastructure.
The German Development Corporation, to improve employment services, has donated vehicles and equipment to the Labour Department of the Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations. According to the coordinator at GIZ Ghana's Sustainable Economic Cluster, Wilhelm Wilgo, the support is aimed at enhancing the operational capabilities of the department to promote employment.
The donation by the German Development Corporation in partnership with the European Union to 5 regions in the country is aimed at improving the overall functionality of the public employment centers. The items donated included vehicles, IT equipment, and furniture. Coordinator of GIZ Ghana's Sustainable Economic Cluster, Wilhelm Hugo, said the initiative will contribute to the creation of a robust labor market in the country.
And of course, I would like to visit you all in the 4 regions that are also getting cars. Together with my dear colleague Andreas. Very much looking forward to see you not only here in Accra, but of course also in the regions. Very much looking forward to the continuous fruitful cooperation between the Ministry, German Development Corporation, German Embassy and the EU delegation.
Minister of Employment and Labour Relations, Ignatius Bafwewa, urged the workers to uphold a good maintenance culture.
You may be aware, especially for those of you who are coming from the regions, that we are also facilitating the construction of PECs in some selected areas. And when you come to the Bono area, a new PEC is being put up at Techiman, another one at Brekum, one at Goso, and then another one in Kumasi. And interestingly, these are areas where these vehicles are also going to. Then it means that you are going to have not just a vehicle, you are going to have office equipment, and then you are going to have offices to operate from. That then means that you will have no excuse whatsoever in improving on your output. I want to say that we are so grateful to you, and I will expect the Chief Labour Officer to instruct his people to take very good care of these facilities.
The initiative is part of a broader strategy to build in-house capacities within the Ghanaian Labour Administration.
That's how we part company tonight on Prime Business. I am Emma Davis. For more news, of course, do log on to myjoyonline.com. Up next is Prime Sports. Please stay.